scooping out some sourdough starter, about a half cup. Now I'm going to add a cup of water. Then I'm going to mix in half a teaspoon of salt. And I pulled this one out of the fridge. I'm going to let it rise today. I didn't feel like turning it into bread. I guess I kind of ran out of time, so I didn't put it into a loaf pan. So last night I put it in this one into this morning I put it into a loaf pan, but last night I just left it in this bowl and stuck it in the fridge so that today when I woke up I could, you know, let it rise again and just kind of see how it does. And I'll put that one in the oven when it looks ready to go. In the meantime, let's get another batch started or mix them up. So I'm just gonna eyeball like a half a teaspoon. Yash. That's a half a teaspoon. There we go. Salt. Let this dissolve a little bit. And I'm going to do 3 cups of flour, or as needed. I can break some of these chunks up. It's kind of cold, so my starter was kind of hard and stiff. So rising time might be a little longer. That's all right. Been getting some good loaves lately, so let me see if I have one in the freezer. Oh yeah, this one is good. You can see though it cracked here, and so if I had scored it better, maybe it wouldn't have cracked so bad. But I mean, I think it's a good sign that it was bubbly and doing well at least. So. Again, the cold, maybe had I waited longer, maybe it would have risen. It was about 6 p.m. and I was like, I just want to cook some bread. Like, I wanted to cook it before I went to bed. Because had I waited longer into the night, it might have, you know, risen, but I wouldn't have been able to catch it because I would have been sleeping and it would have, like, flattened. So I was like, yeah, better to just get it in there. So it did a little bit of rising while in the oven. So timing, just, it's almost a game of getting the timing just so perfect, you know. Okay, so here we go with the flour, and I know it looks white. This is actually whole wheat spelt, finely ground. Not the kind I usually get. The store ordered the wrong kind, and I told them I would only take it if they gave it to me at the same price as the other one, and they did, so I took it and I'm using it. So it's different texture, and so I've had to just, you know, work with my water and stuff. Flour, water, you know, just feeling it out. It has to be a certain consistency and whatnot. So let's mix it up. And let's just, did I put salt in it? Yeah, you could put honey at this point in. Actually, I mean, I would have put honey in at the same point I put the salt in. But at this point, you could also do herbs, spices, cinnamon, raisins. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So now let's get it blended. Okay. And I just really enjoy making bread. I think it's, you know, usually I only add 2 cups at a time. I always end up adding that 3rd cup, but I like just doing 2 at a time because it seems to incorporate the flour better. I went ahead and did 3 cups this time. It looks like it'll be all right. but it's better to just kind of add it little by little, because I like it feeling that stickiness and then adding a little bit slowly so that it turns into a, you know, not too sticky, but still, you know, it's all about the feel. Can you guys see okay? So we're almost done kneading this batch, and it's looking really good. It's kind of tiny. This will only be 1 loaf. I've been doing well. Some days I do 2 loaves. I never do more than 2 loaves just because of how often I like to do it. And I think just doing like a loaf a day, it's kind of like running a mile a day, or 2 or 3, but it's like, oh, baseline. Oh God. Wait, what? No nos comen. Okay, bien. Forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, it's like running a mile, because it's like your baseline. Just run a mile, make a loaf. No big deal. And I think it's easier if you just kind of do it consistently each day. All right, ladies and gents, we have a nice little loaf here. Now what I'm going to do is cover this one, and I'll show you how I feed my starter. Yeah, 1 second. That I made from scratch. So yeah, I made that one. I think I made it actually last November. Oh, okay, so yeah, there we go. Covered it. Gonna set it over here. Now taking a look at this one, and again, it's kind of hard because it was sitting out on my counter, and I mean, it's chilly. My counter got kind of cold, so we're gonna mix it a little bit. When I'm not making bread daily, I always stick it in the fridge, and then I have to pull it out, and I always clear the sides like this, and then I get a new jar. So I'm constantly, oh, I would say every month at least, I am swapping jars. And this is just flour and water that's been fermenting. So get nice and deep down there. So all I'm going to do to this is add just a tiny amount, and it's kind of a tiny amount of water, and it's kind of thick. So I'm going to add maybe a little bit more water than I usually do as well. That way it'll turn into a more runny consistency. I've been asked before about the consistency of the sourdough starter. I think it's preference. That's so far as I can tell. Some people prefer it more runny, some people prefer it more thick. Some people have better luck with it thick, some have better luck with it thin. Maybe it depends on what you're making. And there's just, I feel like there's so many ways. Yeah. Sí, espérame un momento. Estoy hablando, tú puedes usar esto. So, yeah. It's really what you want, and it's such a personal preference kind of a thing. That's why recipes are hard for me. It's like, I mean, you just have to like make it and see what works for you, see what you like. I think a recipe is a good baseline, like, okay, this is where we're starting, you know. So this is getting really runny. I'm all right with that. I think I'm gonna let it be a little bit runny this time around. That's too runny for me. Just a hair more flour. Once it's mixed up, I'll be able to see a little bit. Just a little bit better. I mean, this would be fine. It really would be fine. I can tell the bottom. I can't quite get a good scrape on the bottom, so I'm going to switch tools and grab my... Honestly, I've never used this in here, but let's see if it helps. Yeah, and it fits. Oh yeah, that's good. Scraping that bottom off. Yep, bien, very good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Maybe tonight I'll come back and add a little more flour if I feel like it, if I remember. If not, it's gonna be fine. So, this guy can hang out on my counter, and I'll do this again tomorrow. I can do as little or as much as I want, as long as I'm feeding it and using it. I mean, sometimes I'll do tortillas. You can do anything. It's just so easy once you have it going. It's like literally so. I just feel like it's so. Pues eso no se hace. Dámelos todos. All right, till next time, y'all. Sayonara. Bye-bye.